people who don't know me outside, they tend to see me and they're like, oh, this girl, you spend money so much, you like the good life. Yes, I love the good life, but ask those who know me, ask those who are actually close to me, and they will tell you that I'm like this. They will tell you that I'm like this, guys. I am very, very conservative in my spending. Like, I go over it. I can put something in the basket, in the shopping basket, and I'll leave it there for 2 months. Not because I can't afford it, because every day I look at it, I'm like, do I really need this thing? Do I need this thing? Okay. Even if her income is only 1.5, she's able to foot her own part of the expenditure in the family and still have some left for her. And you will also foot yours and still have some left for you. I consider this a little bit more fair, because irrespective of your income, at the end of the month, after footing the bills in the household, you can still have a little bit left for you, or left for your purse in the savings and things. Hello beautiful people, it's your girl Ada, and welcome to today's video. Thank you so much for clicking and choosing to watch this video. To all my returning subscribers, I say thank you, and for all the new ones, you are welcome. This is a safe space where we talk about a lot of things, life happening in the UK, experiences, we share them, and we'll try to help each other, you know, get along as we go. So thank you for being here. I do hope you find this content interesting and important enough to want to join the family. You click the subscribe button, the red button there looking at you, okay? And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. So today we're talking about something very, 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 very important. We're talking about marriage and money. Marriage and money. Statistics definitely has shown that over 50% of the causes of divorce or separation from relationship, it's as a result of financial misunderstanding. I'm just going to put it that way, okay? Now, this I would say is as a result of not having a proper communication about your finances before going into a relationship, or why in a relationship. So then you end up getting married, and in the marriage you still shying away from this conversation, and eventually at some point you just can't hold it again, and then you collide and you burst, and what happens? The relationship either breaks, everybody goes their way, or the marriage begins to hit a rock. Okay, so I'm bringing this topic today so we can share our experiences, and you know, I'll give you my little tips of what I've used so far that has worked with me, and some other tips you could as well try, which I think might also be quite beneficial. Let's get right into the video. So sometime last month while I was working, I happened to work with a fellow Nigerian. I've never met this man before. He's quite older than I was. And he came up to me just in the middle of the shift, and out of nowhere, he literally asked me a question. And he was like, "It's your husband in this country?" I said yes. And then he's like, "Please, can you tell me how you manage your finances?" I was very surprised because the question came out of nowhere. I literally have never met this guy before, and he has never met me. But I could see in his face that he was pained, or he was worried, okay, about this. And definitely that was as a result of whatever drama was going on at home, which of course had to do with managing the finances. So I gave him my little tips, and he was very, very grateful. And that is why I'm doing this video today. I'll be sharing the little tips which I and my husband has used for this period of time. I just hope it does help 1 or 2 persons watching this video today, okay? So back home in Nigeria, and I'm sure not just Nigeria, so many other African countries, we always have this mentality where we think that it's up to the husband to provide for the family, and then it's just for the wife to spend. Yes, I know. Don't come for me, okay? Give me a minute to explain. Right, that was how we were brought up. That's how it was before. And if you ask me, I would say because back then, the women weren't working as much as they do now. But in this present day, or if you're in this part of the world where everybody seems to be working, the wife is working, the husband is working, the wife is also contributing in the house in terms of house chores, and the husband is also contributing in the house in terms of house chores. So as a couple, there's always the issue of, if we're making the same money, we can't just be using my money because I'm the husband, or we can't just be using my money because I'm the wife. We have to get an agreement, and we have to decide how we're going to manage our finances, right? I'm going to be giving you 3 method of managing your finances in your marriage, and then I'll tell you the tips which I use and how it has worked for us so far. Number 1 on the list will be the 50-50 split, okay? The 50-50 split. Now in this case, what happens is you are going to calculate all the bills in the house, right? From all the direct debit from the husband, all the direct debit from the wife. Now don't forget to include the groceries, the little miscellaneous, and everything. You put them together, you table them together, and at the end of doing this, you decide what your total household bill is every month. All right, now put aside the savings. Okay, we're just talking about the expenditure right now, the bills. Let's say at the end of totaling you came down to what, £1,000, right? So what happens in £1,000? It's splitted 50-50. So the wife has like £500 to contribute, and then the husband has £500 to contribute. This is one of the methods. If you're facing this crisis where you do not know, you just can't come to an agreement, this is one of the methods you can introduce in your household. You split the bill equally and everybody contributes their own quota. That way you can sort the bills of the house, and then whatever is left from you is left for you, and whatever is left for your wife is left for your wife. That is one way. Now, that way, how does it work? For me, it's not, I don't see it to be the best, because it seems a little bit unfair when you find yourself in a family where one person's income surpasses the others by a very huge margin or a very huge percentage. Let's say the wife is maybe earning around £4,000 a month, and then the husband is earning £1,005 a month. You can't say we're going to split the bills 50-50. Okay, at that point, you notice that by the time the husband pays his own 50% of the bills, he might just be left with maybe £500. But then when the wife pays her own 50% of the bills, she still has a huge sum of money left, like £3,500. Okay, so this method of 50-50 is going to work for families that actually have like the same margin of income. Okay, let's say you're making 2,000, the other person is making 2,002, or the other person is making 1,008 or 1,009. You can see in this point the margin is not so far. So if you do a 50-50 split, it's going to work. All right, but in a family where the margin of the income is very, very different, it's very, very high, it's not going to be very, very fair to use this method. But now don't worry about it. I will take you into the next method you could consider. Now, the next method you could actually consider is the income split. Okay, now the first one we'll talk about splitting the expenditure, the expenses. In this case, we're talking about splitting in this income. Case, everybody sort of contribute to the house based on the percentage of their income. So a wife now who is earning, let's say, £3,000 will contribute a higher percentage than a husband who is earning just 1,005. Likewise, the opposite. If the husband is earning £3,000 and the wife 1,500, he will contribute a higher percentage than the wife. So if you have this understanding, you notice that you will be able to fit the family bills and still have a little. So even if her income is only 1,500, she's able to foot her own part of the expenditure in the family and still have some left for her. And you will also foot yours and still have some left for you. I consider this a little bit more fair, because irrespective of your income, at the end of the month, after footing the bills in the household, you can still have a little bit left for you, or left for your purse in the savings and things. Okay, this is another good a method which I will always recommend or advise. Now, the third method for me is my favorite method, because that's what I've always practiced. Okay, this method is what I've always practiced, and that is what I refer to as the joint mindset. For you to be able to practice this exact style, there has to be loads and loads and loads of conversation between you and your spouse as regards your finances. Okay, you guys have to be very, very transparent with each other. You cannot practice this mindset with anybody withholding any form of information. You can't. You imagine when you're not able to open your account for your wife to see, or the wife is not able to open the account for the husband to see, then you cannot practice this method, because this method requires a lot of transparency. It requires a lot of honesty. It requires a lot of financial discipline as well to be able to practice this method. But then I consider this method what the best, because to me, marriage is not just about like the master and the subject relationship anymore. It's more like what partnership, where two persons are putting their hands together for something to grow. Okay, if one person is lacking, it tells on the investment, and then the marriage doesn't really stand. Everybody needs to be committed to be able to make it work. So in this joint mindset, is irrespective of how much the husband is earning, irrespective of how much the wife is earning. Now, you can do it in different ways. You can decide to have like a joint account where everybody puts in their income, whatever you're earning at the end of the month. Even if your salary is paid into your salary account, you do a transfer into this account. If the wife is earning whatever is paid, she does the transfer into this account. And once this is done, then all the expenses goes out from this same pot. Okay, so all the direct debits will be going out of this account every single month. That way nobody is feeling like, oh I didn't I'm paying too much, I don't have a saving. Oh, you're paying too much, you don't have a saving. Because whatever is left at the end of the month is what the family has at the end of the month. And then in this case, you can then plan as a team and decide what you want to do with your savings. And I'm sure that if you work together that way, it sort of it makes more sense, and then you'll be able to achieve more than, you, the husband, having his own savings and the wife having her own savings, and at the end of the day you end up doing little things, when you can actually join forces together to achieve what great things. Now this is the part that has worked for me, but then you can also do it without having a joint account. Okay, joint account is good, but at times when you have so much transparency among yourself, you might not need a joint account. You can just decide, okay, we are going to use this particular account for our savings, while we use this other account for expenditure. Because I think that was exactly what we did when we were saving to buy house. We used my account for the savings. So whatever he gets, we put it in, and whatever I get, we throw it. We're just saving all the money there, and whenever we're ready to buy, we bought from the account. And that is what we always do. If we also have another investment, we can just choose to use his own account now to do that as well. So you can choose to do it with your separate accounts. So far there is transparency in the marriage, and so far there's honesty. Nobody is lying, nobody is withholding information, nobody is playing hide and seek game. Then you'll be able to achieve this method, which is a very, very good method. One thing I'm sure of is the fact that money spending in the UK, especially in the UK, US, Canada, if you check online, so many stories you will hear about, the wife who is a nurse here, is refusing to contribute a penny to the house, and he has kicked, or the husband has kicked the wife out, the wife has kicked, just all this is just all because of money. Nobody wants to spend theirs, everybody is withholding. These are the three major steps I've told you about. You don't also have to practice them independently. You can choose to practice them, together. You can choose that this year we are going to be doing the 50-50 method for now, for certain reasons, and the next year we're going to do the joint mindset method for certain reasons. Also bear in mind that you don't have to be so strict on yourself. If, let's say, this month you practice the 50-50 and you look at it and like, no, this method didn't work very well, be open to have the conversation and then be able to switch over to a different method and try it out and see how it happens. Like, you just have to keep trying things until you find out the exact one that works well for your circumstance, especially because everybody is different. I don't expect what works for me to work 100% for you. So now I'm going to be giving you some tips how we've managed, to work together in our finances for I and my husband so far in living in this UK for this period of time. Number one tip for us has always been to do what set our goals. All right. So by 2024, the things which we hope to achieve by 2024, we've already started now to set those goals. This is what, November. So even before getting into 2024, we will set our goals from now. So then we're working towards that goal. Once we enter into the year, I'll tell you what, we've had years when we didn't set any goals. We have just left ourselves and our finances that way. And those years we realized that we didn't really have much savings, and yet we didn't achieve anything. It was like a laissez-faire a year for us. We had just been, that was not financial discipline, and we didn't like it. So we cautioned ourselves and we said, no, we are not going to do this anymore. We are going to set a goal, like say by 2024 we are planning to get such investment, by 2024 we are planning to buy this property, or by 2024 we are planning to go, this person is going to school, or we're doing, we're investing in one thing or another. So just even before we are entering 2024, we've already made up our mind that that is what is going to happen. So whatever income is coming into the house, we already know where we're channeling it to. So even if we're trying to want to be careless with the money, or we'll have to first of all make sure you've donated into the account where we're putting the money together. Then whatever is left, you can begin to order Chinese and Indian every night if you like. Well, so that is number one thing. And then number two thing which we'll always do is do what? Check and balance every month. Yes, my dad is a chartered accountant. Yeah, so I grew up with an accountant in the house, so he will check and balance every penny. Like, accountability, it's very, very important in your household. Okay, accountability. You have to be financially responsible and financially mature to be able to handle your finances as a couple together. Okay, so accountability is very, very important. People who don't know me outside, they tend to see me and they're like, this girl, you spend money so much, you like the good life. Yes, I love the good life, but ask those who know me, ask those who are actually close with me, and they will tell you that I'm like this. They will tell you that I'm like this, guys. I am very, very conservative in my spending. Like, I go over it. I can put something in the basket, in the shopping basket, and I'll leave it there for 2 months. Not because I can't afford it, because every day I look at it, I'm like, do I really need this thing? Do I need this thing? Okay. So at every end of the month, I try to do like a check and balance. Oh, this month I spent over £2,000. What did I do with £2,000? Oh, I can see. So next month I won't be doing any of this because I'm going to have to save to cover up for the expenditure this month. If you don't hold yourself accountable to your finances, you are definitely going to lose it as a couple. We've had families who have been in this country for over 10 years, and I'll tell you, they don't have any savings, and yet they have not been able to achieve anything, both here in the UK and in Nigeria, or in Africa, wherever they are from. That is a fact. That is a fact. If you do not work together as a family, that is going to be your story. Sorry, that is just going to be your story. You have to work together as a family to be able to have something to hold on to and say, yes, this has been our achievement so far. That brings me to number 3 tip. So number 3 tip is all about honesty and transparency. Okay, so the mistakes some persons make would be going into a marriage without having these discussions first. All right, these are discussions that should come first. You know, the point you are discussing your blood group. If you do that, you should also discuss your financial discipline. You should let this person know that, see, I'm a financially disciplined person. I want to know about finances. I want to know how to handle my finances. How do you do yours as well? You should have this conversation so everybody knows exactly where they're going into. And when you see that this person, oh, I don't like the way he handles his finances, I don't think it's going to work, you're able to step away on time and don't just get into it and then you begin to, fight over your finances. I consider that quite embarrassing. Okay, it's not nice. So that is my number 3 tip. Have these discussions, because when you do have these discussions, then you go into it already being aware of what this person is like in terms of finances and what you are in terms of financing, and then definitely you know how to put yourself together and be able to achieve a family goal. It pays a lot when you're able to join forces together as a couple. It does. It pays a lot. You'll be surprised at the much you are able to achieve as a family. That's the whole. Family is a beautiful thing, and money should not be the cause of marriage breaking. All right. If you've watched this video to this time, I do hope you've subscribed and you've liked my content enough to want to watch next time. Please turn off the notification button so that whenever I post a video, you'll be among the first to be notified. Until next time, keep being awesome. I do hope these tips will help you and to put your finances in check as well. I'll see you next time in my next video. Bye bye.